How's it going, everyone? It's Josh here with American Wilderness. Today I'm going to show you guys how to make the Paiute Deadfall. What you're going to need for the Paiute Deadfall is 2 sticks about the same size, maybe 5-6 inches long, and a little bit of cordage and a big rock to act as the actual deadfall. The first stick you're going to need to carve is pretty simple, just a flat on the top, just like this. Just do that with your knife. Flatten it out so it's somewhat thin but not too thin, where it'll break under pressure. Then you're gonna need to make another notch on this, but we'll do that after we get everything else lined up. The next stick we're gonna need to do is make I think they call it a 7 notch or an L notch. It's where you go in a little bit on the stick, just like this. Just enough so that it'll catch the end of this piece of wood right here. So after I saw in a little bit, I'm gonna take my knife and then just cut into that notch a little bit, just like that. Go in there on the top, pop those pieces out, and then if that's strong enough to catch that, it's good, so that'll work. Alright, so the next notch we need to make on this piece with the L notch is a little notch for the cordage to sit in, so it won't want to slide off. So to do that, I like to just take my knife and then sort of pop out a little area like that. Go on my knife and make a notch. One more. And then pop out between those 2 notches. Just like that. Just a little divot for quarters to sit in. I'm going to do that on the other side as well. Alright, that'll work. So, basically these are going to sit together like this. Just like that. There'll be weight put on the top of this, holding it down. There'll be cordage tied from here to a little stick right here wrapped around and holding it in place there with a trigger stick going to the inside of the rock. So what I need to do now is get a little stick for the cordage to tie to, and then also get a really thin trigger stick. So I'll go find a couple of those and we'll finish this strap up. Alright, so I just got this little stick right here, maybe 1.5 to 2 inches. I'm going to use that to be my stick that I tie to my cordage. So I need to flatten this out, make it into basically a small little board. Just like that. It needs to sit flat against one of our other trigger sticks here. Alright, this is just about good right here. You can see that it's just a flat piece of wood. Now what I'm going to do on this also is make a small little notch on either end for the cordage to sit into so it doesn't want to slide. So I'm not going to do this halfway, but probably about 1/3 into it off of one side. Just about here. Same thing on the other side. Alright, so just like that. Little notch on the top and a little notch on the bottom. That way the cordage won't want to slip out. Alright. Then what I'm going to do is take my cordage here. This is just number 36 bank line. Gonna tie this onto here. Just use a clove hitch or whatever knot you're comfortable with that you know will hold tight. clove hitch on there. It's not coming off, so I'm going to cut off the excess cordage here. Like that. And then we have to tie this onto this second stake that we carved with the L notch and the grooving for the cordage. So what I want to do is get an idea of how long I want this cordage to be. So ideally this will be at maybe about a 45-degree angle, and then this piece will be wrapped around the front. So it'll be tied to here, then wrapped around and held taut like that. So probably somewhere about there will be all right. So that's what I'm going to do, is hold my finger there, and then at that mark tie it on to this notch that I made. Gonna do another clove hitch on this. Alright, since this is holding a good amount of weight, I'm going to do another half hitch on the back, hold it in place, and then again cut off the excess cordage here. Just like that. Alright, cool. So now when weight gets put onto this piece on top from the deadfall, it'll sit on here, and then it'll want to flip up like that and then release the whole trap. So what I want to do is use this so that when this is wanting to pull down, this will hold it in place like that, so that it won't be able to pull down. And I did cut this a little bit long, I think, so need to retie this. Alright, so after you get the cordage to the right length, you might have to mess around with that a little bit to get it just right. Gonna sit like this, the deadfall will be pressing up on here, which will want to flip this up, but this stick right here will prevent that from happening by wrapping around here, and then we'll make a notch on the bottom of this stick so that when weight is put on here, it'll sit tight in that notch. We'll have a trigger stick on here from the deadfall to prevent it from flipping out. So now I need to mark the spot for my notch, and I think right here is a good spot. So it's gonna go on the back of this stick, so I'm gonna hold that there. Just like that, take my knife, make a mark right there, and then make a mark on the other side of the stick as well. Alright, then I'm going to cut out that notch. Alright, so we got this notch carved right here. Had to thin down this stick a little bit in order to get a snug fit in there, because you do want a snug fit, but you want it to be able to go in and out. So this is the gist of what it'll be like once it's all set up. Like that, weight going down on there, this wraps around, locks into that notch, just like that, and there'll be a stick going against this piece right here to prevent it from wanting to flip out of its position. And then when that stick is released, which will be the bait stick, this will flip out, dropping the deadfall and kicking the pieces out of the way, so the deadfall gets a nice tight fit. So I'm gonna go down to my rock and try to set this up. You might want to have a buddy help you with this if you do have a buddy, to prevent you from smashing your hands, because I've smashed my hands a few times underneath big heavy rocks and it sucks. So yeah, let's try to set it up. Alright, so we have the finished set here. These two, and then we have a bunch of bait sticks set aside that I can grab from to get a good size depending on where this is exactly set up. So it's gonna go just like that, piece there, that piece there, and then this cordage is gonna wrap around and get held in place in this notch that we carved. And can you slowly let that down? Alright, now let me grab one of these bait sticks. Oop. Like I said before, it's a good idea to have another person here with you, because if this rock falls, it will possibly break my hand. Try to get it as sensitive as possible here. Alright, can you let some more weight down? Alright, very fragile trap. Alright, so we got the trap set. So basically we have a bait stick on the inside, which goes off to this trigger stick right here, which is in the notch on this support beam, which then is held in place by this, which is another support beam, which then goes down, connects to the trigger stick. And this is what the weight's actually on, is this stick right here. So then once this trigger stick gets flipped out by this bait stick being pressed down, it will cause this stick to lift up, letting the trap fall, and should knock most of these pieces out of the way besides the bait stick. That's why you want your bait stick small, so that it won't interfere with the trap killing an animal at all. Alright, so underneath the main support stick here I have a stone. Because the ground is pretty muddy here, if I didn't have a hard surface here, this stick will want to dig into the ground, and then when the trap gets triggered, the rock would just land on the support stick and wouldn't fall properly. So if you can, it's a good idea to get a big rock underneath this or a hard surface underneath this, so that when it does smash down, it'll be a harder impact as opposed to just cushioning it with the dirt below. But at the very least, at least get something underneath your support stick so that you don't risk having a malfunctioning trap. Alright, gonna go ahead and trip this trap so you can see how it works. Just like that.
So you can see how it works.
And you can see all the pieces here just shot out of the trap. Here's a support stick, here's the trigger stick, and another support, and the bait stick, as I said, does get stuck underneath, but it's not a big deal because it's so thin, just smush right into the mud. Alright everyone, I want to thank you for watching. That was the Paiute Deadfall. It's a deadfall I've been practicing now for quite a while, so I feel pretty confident doing it. And remember, the perimeter trapping like this is illegal almost everywhere, so only do it if your life really depends on it. So yeah, I'm Josh with American Wilderness. Thanks for watching. I'll catch you guys in the next video.